So there's not a lot of videos on this horse, but you did get 2 of him loose. So the way he moves, he does look like he would be nicely gaited here. So he looks like you have a nice 4-beat gait. You're right, he is doing some canter at times. And I can't see him from the front so much or the back because I'm not directly behind him, but looks like at least to the left, he canters very easily and nice. And he's not trotting or hard pacing. He comes down in his pasterns a little bit more in the back. So you just want to take a closer look at that. But a lot of walking horses will come down more. It'd be better to see it a little bit on hard ground because then you can see if they're really coming down and touching the ground. So I always tell people, get a vet check because it's good to check on those things. You know, with the walking horses, they can say they look neurologic. He does not look neurologic, just in case you have a vet look at him. He looks fine for a walking horse. He's moving like a walking horse. He's very cute. And maybe I'll see in the other video. The other thing you're trying to see is as they're walking, how high he picks his front feet up. You know, is he going to be trippy? If he's a little bit on the hotter side or more sensitive, spooky, then they usually pick their feet up pretty well. So that's usually not an issue. So, but what I would try and do is run that horse around in that round pen a fair amount if it hasn't been worked, and then to ride it after that so you can see if you like its gaits, its movements, and if you can handle it. Okay, let's look at the other video. So this is going the other way. From what I can see from behind, I don't see a lot of ringing of its hocks. That's something you want to just look at. Oh, this one might be really short. Was that it? But again, to me, he looks like he's got a pretty good gait. I guess that's it. He looks like he's pretty respectable on the ground. He's not doing anything really bad, and she's quite close to him. And it looks like he was going to be able to canter to the right. I'm going to see if you have any other videos or that's it. So I don't see ringing from just watching that. Camera. Right now, as he's walking lazily, he's kind of going into his front hoof print, but he probably will reach over that as he's going faster. But you just want to look how much he's coming down in those back pastern area around. Area around where his fetlocks are. The fronts don't look as bad. And again, we've had some horses with that because, you know, some do come way down in their pasterns and they're up in their 20s and never had any issues. But just because of DSLD, it's something you do want to check with the vet or to walk him on cement, and you can send me those videos and see how far he is really coming down. It's a very pretty horse. He looks well built. He has a nice top line, especially if he hasn't been worked much. He's behaving pretty well for not being worked. And let's see what other videos there are. Now, in this picture, you know, it's hard to see confirmation just because they're parked out, so I just can't see when he's standing straight-legged how much he comes down in this area. When they park out, a lot of times they straighten their hocks and then their legs look a little weird back here. But the rest of him looks quite good. You know, he's well put together. He's got a short back and I like how he looks. Just going back to this first one to talk about him. So again, he moves quite well. He looks like he has a very natural gait. It would just be riding him, you know, with some collection contact and helping him to go the correct speed. But again, at least he looks like he's naturally talented. I did find the ad. It looks like he's bred really well. I read what she said, that the trainer said he was very spooky. So that's something you want to see if you can handle or not. There he was gaiting really nicely. Most of the time, it's from the horse not getting out, not being adjusted to the new area, especially if he was fine. And some trainers just do not understand walking horses, and they see their legs going all over when they're running around and being goofy, and they just don't want to deal with it. So if you get them, I would work him from the ground for a couple of weeks, but work him really hard and get all his energy out. Make sure you don't have him on alfalfa or grain, and get his energy much lower, and then ride him. And you might have to do some desensitizing and getting him used to things, but he is very well bred. I saw his papers. He's got very good lines in him. He does have pusher, which my horse Sundance had pusher, and I've trained a fair amount of pusher horses, so I know that line pretty well. Some of them do have temper tantrums and can act up. Most of the time they're not spooky, so that could be coming from the mare, his mother. And they're not usually spooky horses, but they can kind of leap up. They're usually full of talent. They move well. They have nice gaits. They're well put together, and they have a lot of usually overstride as they move. With him, it looks like his right front leg wings out just a little bit as he comes around. So watch him walk towards you and away from you. You can videotape it, and I can watch that too. And you just want to make sure it's something you can handle. But I like him a lot. I would definitely try and buy this horse and train it if you have the option. But again, have a vet just look at its pasterns and just do a vet check, make sure its eyes and everything else are okay, and then see what he thinks about the back pasterns. That would be my only questionable part that I'm seeing on him.